Hey guys, it's Holly. So today I wanted to have a look at the original LEGO Harry Potter gift with purchase set, which is the microscale Diagon Alley. Now with the release of the 2021 Gryffindor Dormitories promo, I thought it would be interesting since I recently purchased this set on the aftermarket to have a look at it because this promo has accelerated so much in its perceived value. Now at the time of release, the Hogwarts microscale castle had just come out and it was to go along with that set. And it actually has a lot of exclusive pieces, including an exclusive Ollivander, which for a very long time was the only version of that character you could get in minifigure form. And even with the release of the regular size Diagon Alley, this promo is still so expensive. Now I ended up purchasing this one used and I had to import it from the US and it was the cheapest one I could find, and even then I'm pretty sure it still cost me around 130 to 140 Australian dollars. It was ridiculous. However, besides the two early polybags, it's the only set I was missing from the 2010 to 2020-21 waves, so I gave in. So before we take a look at the build, let's have a look at Ollivander. So here is our Ollivander minifigure, and for the most part, he is very, very similar to the one in Diagon Alley. Just his torso is different, and personally, I much prefer this color scheme for Ollivander. I think it works so well, which is honestly what frustrated me the most as a LEGO fan, and this sort of being locked behind an exclusive promo price wall was just the fact that this look to me looks so much nicer than the red coat that we got in the Diagon Alley set. And then here is the promo itself, and overall this is a lot longer than I expected. I don't know why, for some reason I thought it was going to be about this short, but it's definitely quite a bit longer, and you can sort of see all of the plates that are made up here. You've got an 8x8 in the middle, and you got two matching plates on either side, and overall the build for this was very simple, nothing too special, no particularly amazing techniques either. It's a very, very basic set, but it looks incredibly effective, especially now looking back at this set, which released in 2018 at the time. You look at the 2020 Diagon Alley and pretty much if you just cut off Gringotts, that's exactly what you got. I mean, admittedly, quality Quidditch Supplies is a tan color and not a pink, which personally I much prefer in this set to the actual set version of it. But the biggest thing about this set is it actually incorporates Gringotts. This is the first time that Gringotts had appeared since 2011, and I'm still waiting for a matching modular to go with the rest of our Diagon Alley street. Which, speaking of the street, this build actually contains some exclusive cobblestone tiles which look incredible. However, I kind of wish that they didn't exist just to make it have less exclusive pieces. However, the print design is incredibly effective, and I love the fact that there is still a few additional studs there if you wanted to stick a microfigure. Now our first building in this set is Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, and you have a little lamppost sitting out the front of it, and I absolutely love the build for Fred/George in the shop front. This face print looks really good and is actually double-sided if you just sort of pick that off. You've got sort of a unimpressed face on the other side, and I also just love the idea of having the sausage pop out of his hat in order for his little brick-built hand to hold it. I think that's really cute. However, I do wish that that sausage piece was in purple or white, just so that it didn't look quite as awkward transitioning to the hat there, or even just do a flesh-colored one, or even better, a translucent one would have been even cooler, but I don't blame them for recoloring a piece for a gift with purchase. However, it would have been nice instead of maybe one of the exclusive prints. But overall, the build for the actual building is really nice. I love the use of these modified studs as windows. I also love all of the translucent pieces as windows. And if you turn it around, there's actually a tiny little brick-built interior with some shelves here and there and a bunch of studs. And overall, it's really cool, even though they didn't quite manage to do the different floors. I'm really impressed by this. Then next to it, just like in the official 2020 set, there is a tiny little archway for Nocturne Alley, and I believe those studs are meant to represent people instead of just like a bird turd or something like that. However, it just sort of feels a bit awkward. I would have personally preferred nothing there. Up next, we have quality Quidditch Supplies, and I love how they've got full-size windows here and even just this little clip piece in order to be the banner, a bunch of different signage and lights and the little chimney, but especially I love the use of the paintbrush as a Quidditch broom out the front. It's really cool, and even the little step up in order to access the door. Now, none of these buildings in the center do have a back, unlike Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, and that is purely because they are so far set back on this build. Like, it's just a complete flat back from the other side. Really not that interesting if you turn it around. Then of course, next to quality Quidditch supplies, we have Flourish Bloods, and I love how there's these little slopes here in order to sort of be those like bookshelves that sit outside. You've also got another lamppost up here sat on top of a jumper plate, and again, I love the use of the transparent pieces in order to be windows, and even the two signs heading up, and overall as well, I love the height of these buildings in microscale. It looks so impressive, and I feel like especially if you put a micro figure on there, it's going to feel very grand, very spectacular. Moving over to the left, and we've got Ollivanders, and this is my least favorite building out of all of this. I just don't like the color scheme. I wish they just went for a black instead of this dark gray. To me, it just blends in too well with the floor and doesn't really stand out, I feel like, as much as Ollivanders should. What I do like, however, though, is these round windows, just using some 2x2 round bricks. You've also got the little sign as well as the door, and again, some more of those modified bricks in order to be windows. But again, I just feel like the gray blends in too plainly. Like, at least with Flourish and Blots, where you have the gray, you have green to accent it and really make it stand out and have a color that pops, whereas you don't with Ollivanders. I would have loved to have seen it again be black, or maybe even have a tiny scribblers next to it just so that you've got some blue in order to break it up a bit. And then lastly on the left hand side is the one that I am most excited about, and that is Gringotts. And honestly, just looking at the rest of these buildings and how they were translated into more of a minifigure scale, it makes me really excited looking at this building to sort of see maybe how LEGO would translate it if they end up doing a modular in the future, which I have my fingers crossed. I really love it. I love the complete sort of glass dome lid here. I think that looks spectacular. I love all of these little clip pieces in order to create the wonky columns, and they're facing different directions. However, now looking at this, I think one of these two levels is facing the wrong way. You also have this little statue out the front with a gold micro finger on the top, which is pretty cool, and even the side wall buildings to Gringotts. So when looking face on, you can't see the back of it, which is great. Same deal with Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. And however, if you turn it round, you actually have the inside of the bank. So you've got these two giant dark bluish grey columns accented with some gold studs, which are really cute, as well as two of the banker's desks with the little lamps at the top. There's really not a lot of space here considering the entirety of Gringotts is built on an angle, which again, I really love. It just adds a lot of cool different shapes and all that, and really makes this set look a bit more dynamic and interesting from an architecture and build perspective. So that is the entire set, and as a gift with purchase, I think this has to be one of the best ones that we've ever gotten, not just for Harry Potter, but for LEGO in general. I think it's really well built. I love the micro scale. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of the mini modulars, which is another one of my favorite promotions. The exclusive Ollivander as well is fantastic. However, from a sort of aftermarket perspective, it makes this set incredibly painful. Why did we have to have exclusive printed tiles, an exclusive minifigure face, an exclusive minifigure? It drives me sort of insane, especially now where more and more people are becoming LEGO fans, and maybe some of them weren't fans back when this promo released, and maybe they want to go back and get it to match the micro scale Hogwarts castle. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and a lot of people cannot afford that. It's even more frustrating when you look at the 2021 promo and don't see any exclusive pieces at all. Personally, I do quite prefer that. I mean, maybe one printed tile would have been nice, and same deal here. Maybe just have one printed element, that being Ollivander's torso, and maybe don't have the cobblestone printed tiles as much as I love them, or even better, the sort of exclusive minifigure face on Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, but never mind, there's nothing we can do now. If you're like me though, and you are a completionist and this is one of the only sets that you are missing, I don't know, I definitely really like this set, and I think if you can find a good deal and you can hold out and you can search for one, I think it's probably worth getting it if you can. But if you can't, don't bother, especially if this set is sealed. It is absolutely not worth your time or money. But let me know what you guys think, and which out of the 3 LEGO Harry Potter promotions that we've gotten, being this, the Monster Book, and the brand new dormitories, is your favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, I'll see you later.